Point Historic Preservation Design Review Meeting, recorded February 6, 2024.
All right, so in the absence of both the chair and the vice chair, I will call the February 6, 2024 meeting of the City Historic Preservation Design Review Commission to order. Start out with roll call. Seabird is excused. Monk is excused. Christensen?
Here.
Calnan?
Here.
McFarland?
Present.
Malevsky?
Here.
And Cutler.
Here.
Perfect. Item number 2. Since we are absent both our chair and vice chair, we will need to select a temporary chairperson for today's meeting. So I'd like to entertain any nominations. To have any one of you 5.
I'll nominate Mr. Christensen.
All right. Any other nominations?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any other nominations? All those in favor of appointing Alder Christensen as temporary chair of tonight's meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. It is all yours.
All right, we'll have a fairly quick agenda this evening. Item number 2 on our agenda, or item number 3 actually, is the report of the September 25, 2023 Commission. We have to catch up on minutes, obviously, so
Yep.
If you've had a chance to read that, if anybody see any corrections
No.
that need to be made? If not, an entertainment motion to approve would be entertained.
I also move we adopt the September 25th, 2023 minutes.
Motion by Malevsky, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor of approving that signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The opposed would be no. Those minutes are approved. That brings us to item number 4, the October 9th, 2023 meeting of Historic Preservation and Design. Any comments or corrections for those minutes? Hearing none, a motion to approve those would be in order.
I'll motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Cowlin, and is there a second?
No second.
Second by Cutler. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
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 And all opposed to approving those minutes would be no. That passes. We will now get to item number 5, the report of the December 6th.
Judy Bounds.
Jeez. Take a peek through those. Any corrections, comments?
I move to approve.
Okay,
And I'll second.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor of that motion would be signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and opposed would be no. Those are approved as well. Which brings us to our one action item of this evening. Item number 6. A request from Michaela Teague representing Ryan Davis to amend an approved design review to perform storefront restoration improvements at 1008 Main Street, consistent with Chapter 22.05, Parent 2. So,
All right, thank you,
Adam.
Chair. So as included in the packet, in June of last year, this commission approved the removal and replacement of rotten wood on the building storefront at 1008 Main Street. The removal of the wood, once demolition work started later this past fall of 2023, resulted in the discovery of, I'll actually pull up the picture, that kind of wooden arch symbol that you see on the image on the right-hand side of the screen. Once that, naturally with any project on a historic building, there's naturally going to be this period of discovery, opportunities where it helps and creates a little bit of intrigue, opportunities where there can maybe be a struggle. This is more of the former, that, once that opportunity arose that we found that wooden arch that was exposed, that led to conversations between myself, the chair, the applicant to see what are some ways that we could try to incorporate that wooden arch as part of a amended project scope. In conversations with the building inspection staff and the applicant, there were some challenges, namely maintaining fire suppression requirements. I'll defer to the applicant in a little bit to talk a little bit further about that if you want to. So as such, the amended proposal that's before you tonight is shown on the screen, the middle section of the screen, first being to frame, sheet, and insulate this portion of the storefront to create a new exterior firewall below the sill line of the building. That would be basically the area that you see within red and yellow on the image to the right. That former storefront sign that you see on the image to the left, that's proposed to be split in half, essentially. The lower half will continue to be a wall sign, whereas that upper half will be used to create a frieze that extends across the wall, and then with a horizontal course that will be extended across this wall, pretty comparable to the building directly to the east. That would be the Mangled Main building at 1016 Main Street. And included in the packet, I did include historic photo. It is undated. I don't know exactly when that photo was taken, but that's the earliest photograph that I have seen for this property. So you can see here really the work that the applicant's doing to try to emulate the building that's shown on the right picture to what's going to be proposed on the image to the left. So the reason, why is this going back before the commission for consideration? So a standard condition that's always placed on design review requests is that the designated agent, myself, shall have the ability to approve minor amendments to the project plan. Given really the scope of the project proposal, it's my belief that it's not necessarily a minor change from what the original approval all entailed. So that's why I requested that the applicant bring this back before the commission for consideration. Overall, I don't have any concerns, and frankly, I think that this amended project design is better than the original design that took place, the original design that was approved back in June of last year. So with that, before we get to any comments from the commission, I'll defer to the applicant if there's anything that you wanted to speak of.
Stand up and-
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you don't know me, my name is Mac Teague. I'm at 1222nd. And this building has been a lot of fun, putting that lightly. But the biggest issue was once we took off the old sign, the highlighted areas, there's no exterior wall whatsoever. So the upper area opens up into the upper of the old ceiling for the dry goods store. The yellow highlighted area opens up into an area between two ceilings. And so that's why, instead of just replacing the whole sign, we're going to firewall it. And then in regards to flashing, that's why I was like, Adam sent the picture with the frieze, and I was like, that actually kind of solves all the problems. We're kind of hemming and hawing about how do we flash this, how do we keep it weatherproof. And then that original thing, it was kind of like light bulbs. Because once we opened it up, we saw on the sides that black and green, that stone, those keystones, those are exposed, and it was like, it'd be really cool if we could also incorporate that with, you know, the oldest known photo to the new stuff. Another thing is on the sides, right below that green and black keystone, in the 80s, there was brickwork. So fingers crossed, there's still brickwork behind there. So I'm rather pleased with the design. I think it's going to bring it back to the most original it's been since the early 1900s. And it addresses all of the issues with water drainage, flashing, things like that, which was the #1 problem with that sign. Once we got into it, all the pieces of plywood were essentially mulch being held together with latex paint. And so with that, we're hoping to mitigate future water problems and also get them an actual firewall installed into the building. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
We don't have a design of what it's going to look like. It was just what we had said.
Not an official design sketch, no.
No, it'd just be like, I mean, like, it's hard to see because it's black and white, but that black frieze where it comes up, and it would extend just about as far as the mangled main one. And then the lower portion would just be a regular, you can kind of compare it to the sign that was up when Agro was there, with just a little picture frame wall sign, something for them to put signage for the storefront on.
Gotcha.
Any other questions from the commission?
No.
When I walked by and I saw what that looked like, that's pretty exciting. It's going to be a really nice improvement, so.
Yeah, we were really hoping that, that brick arch behind, we were really hoping that we'd be able to kind of showcase that, but it's like, looking at it, it's like it wasn't originally exposed. It's more of that structural to hold the several tons of stone up. So I think that this alternate is a really nice design. I'm really excited to get started on it and see what it looks like, hopefully early this spring with all this nice weather we've had.
And make sure it remains structurally sound. I mean, that's going to be a plus, because it was, as you alluded to, there was definitely some issues with water, so.
Yeah, and the sill above it, I mean, you can't really see it in the picture that I highlighted. There'd be stone repointing going on along that sill to try and mitigate any other water that'd be coming down from the top of the building, so.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the commission?
No.
Okay, hearing none, then a motion to approve would be in order.
A motion to approve with staff recommendations.
Okay. Motion by McFarland, and is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Malepsky. Any other comments? Then we shall take our vote. All in favor of approving that alternative design? To amend the approved design would be signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed would be no. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Matt. Stay put for a second. Staff update. What do we all have, Adam?
So just wanted to provide an update on the community preservation plan that we've talked about last time we met. So just to provide a brief overview about the preservation plan in case there were any folks who were not here at the last meeting. Really, what is this preservation plan intending to be? It's supposed to be this long-range planning document that's meant to serve as a guide to you all as a commission, myself as city staff, to see really what are specific goals, objectives, policies that we as a commission and a city want to pursue on a variety of different topic areas, segueing from preservation. So these would, again, just rapid fire, talking about the different topic areas. Talking about surveying efforts, we recognize that in the next 10 years, we're going to have a frank conversation about the need for resurveying the city, and that naturally begs a question. One, should it be a citywide survey or a targeted area? And if it's a targeted area, where are certain focus areas that we want to take a look at first and foremost? Second, is it a reconnaissance survey that we as a city would want to do, or another intensive survey? So questions like that. Second theme, conducting a social and cultural analysis, looking at ways that the city's Historic Preservation Commission can have some, really serve as a helping hand to properties here in town, historic buildings here in town that are not under this commission's purview. These would be buildings that are classified as being eligible for National Register nomination, but it's not within a local historic district. So what are some ways that we as a city can try to encourage upkeep onto those buildings, even if there's not local oversight? Identifying financial resources and incentives, outreach and education efforts, connecting preservation with planning and local tourism efforts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So over the last 3-4 weeks now, we've been kickstarting the first round of public engagement, having one-on-one stakeholder meetings. So first want to say thank you to these people on the screen, who we've met to, who we had the chance to speak over the last 3-4 weeks. Appreciate them spending some time talking with me. Appreciate Mark, Barry, and Tim for also taking the opportunity to talk with some of these folks as well. There'll be more people that I have scheduled to talk to in the next, I'd say, 3-4 weeks or so as well, probably another 24 or so folks. What I wanted to provide the staff update for is more so to talk about what's going to happen next in March and April. So my plan is to finish these one-on-one stakeholder meetings near the end of March. Once that happens, near the end of February, rather. Once we get to about the first, second week of March is when I plan to have kind of a circle back as a commission and talk about some initial observations that I had, that some of our commissioners had who partaked in these conversations, to see what are some observations that took place, what are some common themes that you heard from these folks that we've talked to. And then the next time we meet as well will also be an opportunity for myself to give you meeting dates for the second round of public engagement. So when we have some town halls, some town hall meetings, some walk audits that'll be taking place in April and May, I'll be able to provide y'all some rock solid dates as to when those will occur. So if you wanted to participate in those or pass those dates along to whomever you want to, at least you'll have that opportunity to do so. So that's kind of just a rough overview of where we are at this stage in this planning process. I don't know if any commissioners had questions, or if Barry, Mark, since you two were involved in some of these conversations, if there's anything you wanted to add.
No. I think they're productive is really all I've seen so far.
I think from the city council perspective, it's been very beneficial. We've met with each of the alders that have potential districts coming within their district, and I think upfront, giving them that background information, so as constituents have questions, a lot of times they'll reach out to their local alder, and they've already been updated and informed, so I think that helps them be more of a resource for the community as well. So there's been, I think, Adam has taken a lot of time to make sure that a lot of accurate information is out there and being able to kind of control that narrative. So I commend Adam for the amount of time and effort that's been put in there. This is a huge undertaking, and it boggles me that you volunteered to do it, but I'm glad you have.
Just a wee bit crazy.
Just a wee bit
Just
crazy.
a wee bit.
Holy moly. But I would agree. I think it's going well, and I think it's going to be valuable. And I think it'll be a good guiding document for us moving forward and make sure that the commission, irregardless of who happens to be on board, it's going to enable them to be more consistent in their application and really help the city moving forward. So, well done.
Okay. Any other questions about this? Matt, floor is back to you.
Okay. And I think that the update on our preservation plan is our last agenda item. Our agenda is exhausted, and we stand adjourned at 5:20.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.